want to welcome the New York native, now living in California, father of one, known for his competitive pickleball skills and for being the TMZ of Favorited. Welcome, Mark, or as you guys know him, Mr. Pickleball. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. How's your
Thank you,
evening going?
Geralda. Thank you very much. My evening's
You
going
guys,
fantastic.
this is a battle, but our main motive during this battle is to get to interview and for us to focus on the interview. So if we do miss something important, we will at the end of each battle kind of try to shout you guys out. I have moderators that are looking out for a few things, right? At the end of this interview, I will have a hot round questionnaire for Mr. Pickle. And these are a few carefully selected questions that are a little bit controversial, but it's only fair that I ask them. He told me that his only non negotiable is nothing about his underage son. And that's easy enough for me. So I have my own hot button questions for you guys at the end. I don't think you're going to be disappointed, but if the chat wants to ask Mr. Pickleball something super specific, you need to throw him a speed demon. He doesn't know this, but I'm telling you. And then our moderators will pin that comment, okay? So please, my moderators, be on the lookout for a speed demon and pin the comment who sent it so that I can ask their question. Okay, first of all, why did you not promote this interview?
I told plenty of people about it.
Okay, because you told me on your live that you're not sure if people were going to be interested because they'd rather battle.
Exactly. I don't know if they'll be interested, but I told people about it.
Did you see the promotional video I did to sort of like get people excited about the interview?
No.
Okay. Do you remember wearing a long sleeve dress shirt with a vest on top where you're walking very fast in a building and then slamming something in your TikTok
A long sleeve dress shirt?
with a fur vest on
Oh,
top?
yeah, sure. Yeah, that was a trip to Sacramento. I remember.
Okay. What's with that fur vest? Like why are you dressed like that day?
Festival,
You guys go to
festival,
my TikTok and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's
festival
interesting.
clothes. Festival clothes.
For what festival?
It was a music festival. It was a contest that I won on Favorited. It was some
Okay.
electric music
I like
concert.
it personally, by the way. I like the getup. That's why I use
Oh,
that.
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Is your hair like a little bit extra slicked back for this interview tonight?
No, I just got a shower like 40 minutes ago, so it hasn't
You
dried
didn't
yet.
do anything extra special knowing that we were doing an interview. You don't care.
Uh, did you answer the question or you want me to answer it?
Do you not care?
I care.
It looks like you do. Your hair is looking extra shiny and slicked back this evening. And when I stopped on your stream, I knew that you wouldn't be late merely by just looking at you tonight. I said, you know what? He took extra time on his skin, his hair, maybe his eyebrows. I don't know what, but you're ready. You were ready for the interview. That's all I'm saying, which I appreciate.
Makes one of us.
Okay, so let's get
You have
to
to
it.
you have to send out the invite.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Pickle, you were kind enough to have requested me on battles since I was very new on here, and I still am very new. But it's been really fun battling with you and getting to know you a little bit. I find you very curious on here, and I really wanted you to be my second episode. And the reason for that is because you you have such a wonderful life. You've had a great career. You were very successful, right? And you retired. You live in beautiful LA. You're very blessed. And I always wondered with you, like, why would you even want to get on a social media app like Favorited and want to stream when you don't need to? Your life was already wonderful. Why do this?
I don't need to do a lot of things, but I do it because that's my free will and my choice. And I started social media a little over a year ago, kind of on a dare, just to see if I can do it. And then one thing that really motivates me is learning. And I started learning things that I didn't think I would learn. And it was more of the social dynamic of what's going on in social media. So I was curious. That's really, then to be honest, it was probably a dual reason. Dual reason. Number one, uh, I broke up with a girl, and this kind of filled the time.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it was just became like a rebound. And number two, which a lot of people might have a hard time admitting to, there was a slight addiction or an addiction
Hmm.
to being online. Those are the
I
reasons.
I remember you saying
Thank you,
in one of
Nikki.
your streams a little bit ago that what sparked your interest in social media in the very beginning was simply that and don't quote me on this, something about you walking down the street with your son and him and his friends showing you something. Can you refresh my
Thank you,
mind on
Bubba.
that moment?
So it was in my house. I wasn't down the street, but my son and his
That's why I
friends
said
were.
don't quote me.
Yeah, that's okay. No, no, no problem. I was just clarifying.
I didn't think there
Uh,
was a problem.
Thank you, Bubba. Uh, so they were looking at their phones like this, and they're like, "Oh, this guy on TikTok." They were all watching TikTok, and then I'm like, "Give me your phone. Let me look at what you're looking at." I'm like, "These guys don't know what they're talking about. They're like 20-year-old kids on TikTok telling you about what's going on in life, how to
Yeah.
invest, how to do whatever, how to make $50 into $1 million, whatever kind of stupid stories they're
Hmm.
telling." So I was like, "These guys don't know what they're talking about," and they're like, "Dad, or Mister, Mark." Uh,
Mr. Mark?
well, my last name. I don't know if everyone knows my
Oh,
last
okay.
name. So they know my last name. So uh, they're like, these guys know what they're talking about. And I was like, no, they don't actually. So I was like, and I can do what they're doing. This is easy. And they said, no, it's
Yeah.
not easy. So I said,
Hmm.
I'll take my phone and download TikTok and I'll show you I can do this in 2 seconds. It wasn't as easy as I thought, I have to admit.
But that was enough to spark your interest and for you to want to at least like research it and check it out and try. That's interesting to me.
Didn't do that much research.
You just went in.
Yeah, you're doing a 5 minute battle, but that's okay.
Is that typical for you where if something sparks your interest, you act quickly and you dive in?
Depends if I don't see a risk or I do see a risk.
Yeah, you're managing the risk each time. And you figured this one would be a good one. So when you first came to
Yeah.
Favorited, did you then come with supporters from another app? Like your day one of being here?
Well, I started on TikTok.
Right.
So I streamed on TikTok and I had one friend primarily. And then all of a sudden, I noticed I had other friends that were streamers that I didn't know that were streamers. But
Mm-hmm.
the one friend I had in real life, we would stream together like this pretty much every night because it just felt comfortable than going to find random people that were in Pakistan or wherever. I just didn't see a benefit to talking to those people. So
I battle with one regularly in Pakistan. And he shows me his fire station. It's awesome. But I understand what you're
yeah,
saying.
it wasn't. It's not my thing when they can't speak English. I just I don't want to sit there and play charades all day. So I battled on TikTok, and one
A
day
lot of
on
them
Tik.
speak English.
Okay, uh,
So you battle on TikTok.
yeah. So I battled on TikTok, and I liked it. And I started building a community, and I would find larger creators, and I thought it was really fun.
Most of them do. Okay.
And then one day, everyone was like, "Hey, TikTok's going down," and I started reading the news. And I realized that Congress passed a law saying TikTok's going to be illegal. It goes into effect January 19th. And everyone was like in December, like, hey, maybe we should download different apps. Thanks, squirrel. So I downloaded this
Hmm.
app in December and we came on here for a day.
Yeah.
This was probably December 1st or something. Didn't even think anything of it. Went back to TikTok and just went back and forth a couple times. And then all of a sudden, in mid-December, it seemed more fun. Met some people, and uh, maybe 20% of my time is here, 80% on TikTok, and all of a sudden,
Hmm.
more and more friends. And then got momentum on here, and I stayed on here more. The percentage kept on, it was like a seesaw. It was much higher
Yeah.
TikTok, and then eventually it went to
Got it.
favorite.
So as you started to get your footing on here, you realized quickly, like, let other people in my community know that I'm here and promote this.
I tried.
Yeah.
I did
What?
promotions every single day on TikTok. I would say at first I could get maybe 20, 30, 40% of the people from TikTok over here. And I'd
Yeah.
say almost 99% of the people went back to TikTok.
They went, so they didn't last here.
They come and go. Occasionally they'll be here, but I would say they still like TikTok better. And
But
I mean,
will they still come here to support you,
very,
even if
very
they're not
rare,
using it? Okay.
very
So
rare.
that's good to know. I was very curious about that. So okay, so I know we all know what you're doing now, and you remember I've only been on this app for less than 60 days. Since I've been on, I understand your streams, but how did your stream start out? Like, what type of content, day one, two, week three, four, five, six? What were your streams like? What was your motive? What was your plan on here?
Here or TikTok? Because
Here,
I
here.
so
You came from TikTok. You came here. So
to
what were
me it
your
was
streams like?
more was I'd say the first 3 weeks was more just evaluating and trying to figure out the differences between here and TikTok. And then the real strategy was, hey, if TikTok goes down, because when I was on TikTok, the whole thing, every time I was thinking, I was like, these streamers aren't that good on TikTok, but they've been on TikTok
Mm,
for 5 years. And I'm like, but they're not better than me. They're not. And I'm like, but they have an advantage. They started 5 years ago and they spent a lot of time on content. So they got 1 million followers. And I'm battling people on TikTok that have 1 million followers,
mhm.
500,000 followers. I'm like, I got 4,000 followers. It's going to take forever. What's up, Money Stacks? Uh, so I'm like, the real advantage was that I could start on a platform that was new. Like just imagine it starting on day one on TikTok. So the real thought was, if I'm starting day one, start a persona, and
Mhm.
I would
Oh, a
say,
persona.
yeah, persona pretty much
Mhm.
was being more of a conversationalist and
So
go with
that's the
that.
mask that I ask every single person that comes on here. So your persona is to be a conversationalist.
Money. Uh, no, the persona is a little different. My ability is really to be a conversationalist. So the
Okay.
persona is more of a dual persona. Thank you, Mrs. Claus.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Money Stacks and Squall. So the persona is
Thank you
more
to Oh
a
My God,
dual
OMG Tara
persona.
and Natalie.
So I really like to have fun, and I've done three different like game shows on here. The first one was Box Beauties, which you haven't seen probably. I did that for 4 months. Then I did beer boxes and then bomb boxes.
Oh, I've heard
And
about the beer boxes.
yeah, and I like to have fun on here. And I like to make fun of people's grammar or whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side of it is I do like doing a TMZ and like, opening it up similar to what you're doing
But did
now.
you start with that, or did you literally
No,
start with
it,
showing pickleball on here on this app?
no, I didn't start with pickleball. I started with that on TikTok. You asked if I did that. I didn't start on that on here. And here you can't really, the content, when I first started on here,
That's what I want
well,
to
I'll
know.
tell you what Box Beauties is in a second if you want to know that, Christy. Um, on the stream is much clearer on TikTok for streaming uh, pickleball. It doesn't come in as well. If I do it side by side, you can't see it as well on here. Even though you think you can, it's much better on TikTok. I know that's not what Say Favorite wants to hear, but it's true. When I first came on here, it was much worse. Like you like people were like this is horrible. So I only could stream pickleball on TikTok. And guess what? People weren't that really interested watching pickleball. They just weren't. I thought they would be, since it's America's fastest growing sport, but not so
How
much.
were your views in the first few weeks on here? How many people were watching your streams when you started going live?
More than now, because this app was
Really,
really pop.
week one. Okay, okay.
There was a lot more people. It was
Wow.
very because like I said, at first I had 20, 30, 40% of my TikTokers because I was like, hey, TikTok's going down. We made this whole Discord, we made this whole video, go here, go here, go here. So people were coming, like 20, 30
Hmm.
people from TikTok, 20, 30 TikTokers plus whoever was already here
How long did that last?
a month,
And then did it go down or steady or go up?
went down.
And how did you feel when it was going down? Were you still just as motivated to keep streaming regularly? I guess what I want to know, Pickle, and I think a lot of people do, is that in the beginning when we're trying to do this, it's different. You have like one, two, three, four, five, up to 10 people in your stream, and a lot of people find that discouraging, and they feel like, why am I going to go back on if no one's watching me? Did you ever at all go through that, or think like, hey, I may not have the views I want every time, but I'm going to keep doing it.
No one's ever going to have the views they want.
Thank you.
Okay. I promise you that, because I can
Don't
talk
forget,
to
Sir
John
Ken.
Collins. I can talk to Kevin Creekman, John Collins, or the people that have 1,000 people in the room on TikTok, and they're not
Yeah.
that happy. They think they should have more. The people
Mm,
that have with 30 people in their room, like, oh, only if I could have 60.
yeah.
So I'm happy with what I have.
So you
And
were
if I have,
never insecure about that part, because for people who are new to social media or streaming, that's I would say that's the toughest part of the entire journey.
I don't care. I mean, if there's zero people, then I'll just shut it off.
How long did it take you to
But I
get verified?
also have you want me to finish, if
Yeah,
I'm
finish.
talking to you and there's nobody here, what's the difference if I'm talking to you and we're in a coffee shop or we're here? Thank you, Squirrel. So as long as I enjoy the person on the other side of the screen, I'm okay.
Okay, I
So
understand. I
how long
respect
did it
that.
take to get verified as a streamer?
Yes.
Is, I don't know, fast. Like I said, there's a lot of people on the first couple of weeks, so less than 2
What?
weeks.
Okay, and that was was that mostly support from people that you knew, gifters, people in the chat, or was it from other streamers? I'm just curious.
It was people from TikTok, no streamers.
What are your thoughts on Favorited when you see brand new people on here within their first week on the app, they get a few different verification badges and get their summits? Um, are you ever
I
curious
know
about that?
I'm not curious at all.
Do you think it matters whether they made it happen through people in the chat who do not stream versus other streamers? Do you think that
No,
matters?
no,
Really, you don't think that matters?
no.
I've heard you mention in your lives a few times that you do think there's a difference, that you think that there's people on this.
Maybe. I don't care one way or the other. Of course, it's true, but it doesn't matter to me. No,
Was your first biggest paycheck from Favorited, and how much?
in a day or a week or a cash out,
Your first withdrawal, your biggest withdrawal from Favorited, your first one.
more than 10,000.
What did you spend it on?
Nothing.
You saved it. How long did it take you to get to the point where you were withdrawing 10,000 plus? If you remember.
Maybe in March.
Okay, so how many months is that from when you started?
December to March, 4 months.
Okay. Sorry, guys, there's just a little glitch here with this battle. It's asking me to restart it a few times. So we only have a few more questions before the hot round. Are you getting it, Mark?
Yeah. Uh, I'm getting it. I'm hitting ready.
So it's not.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. Okay, we're good. So you started on TikTok and then you came here. How is streaming different than other forms of content creation where we know on Instagram and on TikTok and other apps you have the ability to stream, but you also have the ability to create produced content that exists on your page forever. The way that Favorite is different is that it's simply just a streaming app. Did you notice a difference in your connection or your relationship to your supporters when you started streaming more often and when your bread and butter became streaming versus content creation on TikTok and other apps?
Without the content creation, this app wouldn't work. I use the content creation on TikTok for people on here to go on there. So, like for instance, you saw me with the fur jacket or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
still using the content creation.
Okay. I don't know if that answered my question.
So, without content creation, social media would be extremely difficult.
Okay, sure. So
So,
everything is technically content creation. I guess it could have been my fault in the way I phrased
you're
it.
talking about where you can upload videos and share
Yes.
storylines like
And here
Facebook and
you can't.
Instagram. Well, you direct people somewhere else.
What I mean is that the way that you were building a community and a relationship with your followers on TikTok, when you weren't streaming versus when you began streaming? Did you notice when you made the shift from content creation to streaming any difference in the relationship between you and your community? Because I think streaming makes, people love you faster and they hate you faster because there's a difference. There's not a filter. There's not a you're not able to produce. It's real time. It's your real life. Did you
Uh,
notice any difference?
is much more difficult. This is much more difficult. The only way this works is you have to have an abundance of time. And if you don't spend a lot of time in here, unless you've already done it somewhere else and spent an abundance of time, there's no way for this to work.
Yeah.
So if you're a live stream pro on TikTok, you've already spent 4 years
Hmm.
on TikTok or whatever it is. So when you're bringing people on here, it works. But if you start in here for scratch and never streamed before, unless
Yeah.
you're giving people money to give you, it's not going to work unless you have some kind of crazy entertainment skills.
I have to say, I've never in my life posted or been public facing on any social media until 50 something days ago. And this was the first app that I've ever posted or done anything that wasn't like locked down to only my family and best friends. I think it's possible, but I think that it could take you a lot longer because you're starting a business brand new. I'm building it brick by brick rather than having maybe customers or community that know I exist that are going to support me. So I don't think it's impossible, but I agree that it's very difficult.
So I didn't say it's impossible. I said without an abundance of time.
Yeah. You have to be
Let's
patient.
get a
Exactly.
good guy.
Um, so we know you as TMZ. At what point, I guess as a streamer here, did you decide that it's a great idea for me to make this something regular in my brand on here? That when there's a conflict on favorited, I will bring both sides up, or all three or four or five sides up, right? And hear both of their stories. You do a lot of your own research and you cover everything on these streams, these conflict TMZ streams. When did you decide to go that route? Like what happened that became
Well, it wasn't a conscious route. It happened by accident.
really?
Uh, yeah, it did.
Huh.
It wasn't strategic. It was accidental.
Okay, so can you
So
explain a
I
little
did.
bit more about the
Yeah.
accident?
So little by little, people would, as a streamer, people vent to you.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're venting to me, I'm like, "Oh, this is really interesting." And I've interviewed probably in work over, I'd say, nearly 1,500 to 1,600, maybe 2,000 people over
Wow.
29 years. Yeah. So I interview people, such as what you're doing now, and then I would uncover the story really wasn't what people said they was. So then I want to go get the other side. I'm like, that story doesn't make sense either. And then people are like, this is interesting the way you're doing it because you took both stories and really got the truth at the end of it, right? Story A,
Mm-hmm.
story B, and then really the truth. So people like that. And then
Can
I'm
you
like,
tell
I
the
like
story
that.
real quick, Mark, about again, guys, this was so quick. He like requested to battle me in the beginning. And I remember a funny story about you at your corporate job. You were in a managerial position,
Yeah.
and
Thank
these
you, good
two,
guy. We're just
I
doing
think
the
it was
interview for like 20 more minutes, guys. Go ahead.
I think it was a I think it was two gentlemen that you managed
St.
who
Patty's Day
stayed up.
story.
Yeah, can you just quickly, like, because you said you like uncovering, you could tell right away when people are lying. Can you just recount that?
I didn't know for sure they were lying, but at the time I was the director of sales at a company called Spectrum, and I ran the commercial division for our sales division from Texas to California. And there's a manager in the office. In the office I worked in had a manager running the office, and reps came in, and these
Hmm.
reps came in several hours late one day, and they looked disheveled, and they had this perfect story lined up. Hey, we had to meet a customer, two different reps, two different territories, yet they both met the same customer in downtown Los Angeles, which is fishy to begin with. They should be meeting their own
Hmm.
customers,
Right.
right? So, and they're like, look, we have the guy's business card, Geralda Smith, whoever, and you can call him up. He'll let you know. That's where we've been for the last 2 hours. That's why we didn't come into work. So I'm listening. I'm overhearing the story. And I'm like, guys, come into my office. So they come into my office along with the
Mhm.
manager. I'm like, I have some questions. They're like, okay. I'm like, let me see the business card of the guy you met. And then they show it to me. I'm like, what did you review? Oh, we went over telecom and phone service. And I'm like, okay, great. And who'd you meet with? Ben Shapiro. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, and he's the owner of the business and he's the owner of the business. You can call him up. You can call him up. They almost want me to call him up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on. I'm not going to ever let them lead the conversation.
Mm.
So I'm like, I think in my mind, and they're going over the top. Thank you, Nikki. They're going over the top, wanting me to call to ask the questions they want to ask. And I go, listen, I just thought about it. I am going to call them up and I'm going to put it on speakerphone and I'm only going to ask them one question. And they go,
Yeah.
what question are you going to ask them? I'm going to ask them the color of your tie
Hi.
that you're
Yep.
wearing right now. And then when he doesn't know the color of your tie, because neither one of you were there, you're
Yep.
both going to get fired. Are you guys okay with that? And I'll tell you what, don't answer. Go back to your desk and come back in 10 minutes and tell me what you think. And don't pick up the phone and call them. Don't text them either. Leave your cell phones, whatever it was. And they both came back. They
Fax
apologized.
machines.
They apologized. They said they made up the story. Thank you, Squirrel. And I'm like, that's okay. Let's just be honest. You guys are both good salespeople. We know that you went out for St. Patty's Day. One of you probably slept at the other person's house. I got it. I was a kid. I did that too. Let's just get past that. 2 or 3 hours of work, it's not going to kill anybody. You guys will make it up. You're in sales. You have quotas. Just hit
Right.
your quota and we'll just look past this. But don't come
Yeah.
in here and lie to me because you lied to me once. I'm going to think you're going to lie to me forever.
Okay, so the color of the tie, you guys. Sometimes you just have to ask for the color of the tie, is what I think I learned
Hi,
from this
Callie.
story.
So this
Okay,
is, I'll tell you how I figured. One of my cousin is uh, he allows the people in. I don't even know what it's called. It's like TSA, but he does it on a federal level where he questions people, like immigrations, right?
yeah.
And is so he has unbelievable questions that he'll ask you, and he'll
Hmm.
be like, say he does the interviews for people that say they're married to get green cards, and
Hmm.
you come in with say it's James, and you're pretending to be married to James. That's her friend who's
We
gay.
went through this immigrating to the United States. We were divided
Okay,
as
so
minors from our parents. Oh my God,
yeah.
I went through this.
But if you're faking the marriage, he'd be like, okay, guys, take the keys out of your pocket. And they're like, okay. Okay, so
Yep.
let me see if you have the house key to the house that you say you're staying at. And he'd see if the keys matched. And then they were living in different houses and the keys didn't match. And
Have
they
you
couldn't,
always been like that, where you're a similar type to that, where you notice absolutely everything and you're critical and you're curious about if someone's telling the truth or not, almost
yeah,
distrusting?
yeah, I don't trust anybody. But,
Okay, so you're
eventually,
distrusting.
yeah. But you know what? It's good to be skeptical in my mind because you know,
Skepticism is good. I think it's healthy to
yeah.
a degree. Do you think that your streams bring positive value to our app?
If you think it's positive, stay. If you don't, go. It doesn't
But I'm
really
asking,
matter.
it's not about me though. I want to know, do you feel like your streams add positive value to this community?
Sometimes, sure.
Okay. So
Thank you,
sometimes
Squirrel.
you think that they do, and other times maybe not so much.
Yeah, definitely yes and no. Because some
Does that
people
make
are,
you want to change the parts that you don't think are positive, or do you think that's just a part of
no,
being
it's,
here for you?
watch, I'll give you an example why you shouldn't change. Because if you date three
Okay.
guys and one guy loves you, one guy hates you, and one
I
guy's
would never
neutral,
date three guys at the same time.
I didn't say it the 3 times, over 3 different years. And one guy loves you, one guy hates you, one guy's neutral. You don't need to change. You just need to be with the guy who loves you and that you love. You don't need to
Interesting.
change. So I have
Hmm.
my stream. If Squirrel loves it and she likes this content, then she should stay. If you're neutral and just want to find out, then you can be curious. If you're the third person and go, oh, I don't like this at all, then you should leave.
But isn't there a difference between saying that I'm not everyone's cup of tea because of the nature of my personality and my content versus I know that part of my content is not
Thank you,
good
Squirrel.
value, but I'm not going to change it. Those are two different things,
Well,
no?
I don't think it's good value to me. It's my content. You
Okay,
know?
so that's what I wanted to
So
know. So
yeah.
that okay.
So So
So
here's the
it's
deal. I stream for 5 hours. All 5 hours, all
sarcastic.
5 hours aren't going to be a home run. Sometimes you're going to have a stream where you're like, that was really fun. And then sometimes you're going to have a stream. And look, good guy's here. Sometimes he's like, he writes in the chat, that's a boring one because
But is that accidental, or are you having non-positive value streams, but continuing to produce things like that, knowing they're not positive, but you're consciously telling yourself it's good for me, it's good for my brand, even if it's not necessarily always positive for the community. Is that what you're saying? Because that makes
no,
sense. I
no,
just
no, no. That's not what I'm saying.
okay,
So
okay,
you have to hit the button. So a lot of my stream is in the battle format. So a lot of it is with different creators. A lot of creators on here. The
hmm.
majority of creators are terrible. Okay, they're boring. They don't have anything to say. Their intelligence level is
We're gonna
low,
get to that, you guys. He does make that known
and
on here.
yeah, and I can't stand it. But I don't want to sit there and be completely rude. So I sit
Yeah.
there and deal with it for 3 minutes, and I say, "Your lights off," and they're like, "What do you mean my lights off?" I'm like, "I can't see you," and then I say, "Your audio is off. I can't hear you,"
I've
and I
seen you
can't.
do that a lot.
Yeah, and that's not. Those are terrible streamers. And that's not me bringing down anything. That's me calling it out. Because
So are
guess
you
what?
calling it out because you genuinely care to help people do better that are streamers, or does it just make you feel good to call people out?
I call it out because I'm trying to help them.
Okay. That's good to know. I wanted to understand that.
And I'm helping me because
You
I only take up 50% of the window right now.
listen, you were critical with me from the beginning. You gave me very honest feedback, and I appreciated that. Anyway, what is okay, let me ask you something. If you have a good friend on here and they come to you and say, Mr. Pickleball, this person did me dirty and I don't like them and I want you to expose them, are you ever biased in using your platform in that way? Because like I said, listen, you've become known as the place to go when any two or
Thank
more
you,
people are
Anthony.
having a conflict. Are you ever biased when it's someone you care for versus someone you don't care for?
Yes.
I'm curious. Okay. So
Thank you,
you,
Dick Lee.
you want to explain a little bit further what you mean by that?
No one's paying to work for MSNBC or Fox News. I don't have to be unbiased. I'm biased because I'm human nature, and there's
Okay.
people I like you. I'm going to have a bias towards you.
So TMZ is not, in fact, an unbiased. You are not an unbiased stream when there's a conflict. If one of the people involved in the conflict is someone that you care for more, the whole thing is going to be a little biased.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
take out the word little.
Damn, I respect you so much for saying that and admitting it. I do find it curious your
I've
nonchalant
never
your
never denied
nonchalant
it. There's
nature.
no admit. There's no
Your
admit.
nonchalant nature is interesting, but I guess because of what you're doing, it's conflict based. It's a little different for me personally on here. I'm gonna work super hard to never be biased because I want to get to know every single streamer. I want to give them the same questions, the same opportunity, and I don't want to conduct my interview in a way where I'm leaning or asking questions that insinuate or take you to a different direction based on how much I like you or don't like you. And I pride
Okay.
myself on that.
Yeah.
But not everyone does, and
Yeah.
everyone's brand is different.
When I interview someone like White Bread that speaks like he lives in a wherever he came from, a trailer park or whatever, it's hard to look at him objectively, and I don't have to. Ghetto,
Okay.
someone wrote, and that's the way it goes. Yeah. So
Um,
this is the human nature is to
I've
be
I've met
biased.
many people who live in the ghetto or and that are quote unquote ghetto
Yeah.
that have taught me a lot, and I'm very thankful for those people. So I think that's a generalization that, quite frankly, doesn't make much sense to
I'm
me.
I'm
But
not generalizing. I didn't write ghetto. Someone wrote that. I said one person. I'm not generalizing. I'm saying this particular person.
have you ever
He's
been married?
no,
Why not?
didn't want to get married.
You never, it was never something that you reached for in
No,
life. Okay.
if I
Why do you
wanted
think?
to, I could have. The girls I dated want to be married.
Why do you think you never wanted to be married? Is there a specific reason? Is
Well,
it
I
just that
could have
you're not
got married.
motivated?
Thank you, Anthony. I could have got married as a younger age, but now as I got older, the last girlfriend I had, yes, money. I'll get there in a second, good guy. So, uh,
Yep, I
so
know.
when I was
For sure.
younger, financially, it wasn't as strong. As I got older and bought real estate and have my own the small company and worked very hard, the girls I dated had much less financially.
But you could have a
So
prenup.
prenups doesn't mean a damn thing. There's very little it
So you
does.
at this stage in life, you're not married. You never really wanted to. You could have when you were younger. It didn't work out. And at this stage, you just don't think it's necessary, and you care
Well,
more about protecting your money, correct?
no.
But you'd have a
Uh,
life partner.
yes, I did have a life partner for like 7 years,
Why
and
didn't that work out? What happened?
alcohol.
What do you on whose si- like? What do you mean?
I barely drink. She was
Oh, okay.
alcohol. Yeah,
I didn't know. So okay. Well, I'm sorry, by the way, that
it's
you had a
okay.
long relationship.
I
That's
made the
actually I
decision.
didn't know that about you, and that's
Yeah, I had to ask her to move
wow.
out. Yeah, but as a financial part, just to give you an idea, she didn't pay
Hmm.
rent. She didn't pay for food. She didn't pay for utilities. She didn't pay for any. She never
No
paid
one asked
for.
about the financial.
I'm trying to give you like, oh, did you not get married for financial reasons? All it does is, taking away the romance out of a marriage for a moment, taking the we're going to have a family together. You can make them sign a prenup, but it doesn't hold very strong after you're married for 10 or 15 years and your your assets appreciate and your business grows and the person's part of it. If they're part of it and it grows, they're going to have attachment to it even with the prenup.
And you guys, he's 110% right. But also, what I'm hearing when you're explaining this is that it's still coming from a place of a little bit of distrust because I know all those things you just said,
No, I
but
trust the person. I just know that there's a 50% likelihood it winds up breaking up.
and the risk is
So
not worth it.
there's no reward to it.
I disagree, but I completely respect and understand how you feel, and I've met a lot of people who feel just like you do.
Yeah.
And I respect exactly how you feel. What's your type though? What's your type in a partner? If you could like construct your perfect dream woman, can you tell us what your type is?
I would say I like women that take more traditional roles, dote on their guy, trustworthy, adventurous, fun, um, uh, easy to get along with. Because,
Easy to
uh,
get along with.
yeah, I don't want to have a fight every day.
Mm-hmm. I
If
agree.
I make breakfast and it's 2 eggs, bacon, or whatever, and I asked you what you wanted, and I put the coffee out there, let's just enjoy breakfast together.
Yeah.
Attractive, yes. I do like. I will say that luckily I've had girls that have been attractive too, that were very pretty. It's
Don't
just
say
luck.
luckily like that wasn't a main motive. I mean, let's just put it this way. You want a deep connection. You are
Yeah,
very selective, right? And I know this about you. However, if they're not stunning, you will not give them a chance. Am I right?
that's not
Come on,
true.
pickle. Pickle.
That's not true.
You showed me the pictures of all your girlfriends on the stream one day
Just because past girlfriends are attractive doesn't mean I wouldn't give someone a chance. I've dated girls for a
that were
less amount of
ugly.
time. No, I haven't. I don't. Thank you, Anthony. Uh, I don't want to be with a person that I'm not attracted to.
Okay, exactly. So he only dates very good looking women and but that's like that's the basics and then you also have to, connect adore each other in a deep way, but that is
Listen,
something
the
and
last
I
girl I
have I
dated,
have that too, not in the same way, but
the
we all
last
have that.
girl, listen, after you live with someone for 7 years, the sex and attractiveness, thank you, is important, but it's not as important as,
Sarah.
thank you, Anthony, it's not as important as real good communication, real help in your lives
But I
when the
think for
person's
you it
helpful.
is because you're so drawn to attractive women, Pickle. I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't believe you. I don't know why it's so hard for
As
you to say that I need them to be very attractive, but that is not the only thing I need. I need a lot more. But that's where I'm going to start because men notice us with their eyes first. So that's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm not ashamed of it.
Okay,
I'm
great.
just saying
So
it's not as important as you're
speaking
going. It
of
might have
really
been more important
attractive
when I,
women, speaking
yeah,
of very attractive and smart women,
yeah,
we have met some of the lucky ones gumdrop recently
yes,
on this app.
yeah,
She's stunning. She is extremely genuine and kind, and she does have an infectious personality. And the way that I met her is I was looking at your stream one day in the discovery page before I came live, and I saw you guys in your kitchen having a drink, giving a
yeah,
kiss, everything else.
yes.
And now she's a new streamer on here, and I think she's going to do incredibly well on here. Um, you used to date and then you recently reconnected and now you're dating again, and she's also streaming now for the first time ever on this app.
Is she stream? Well, she's streaming with me, but I haven't seen her stream on her
Well,
own.
she was on her own account, remember when she was
Yeah, I
battling me
mean,
and
but yeah, sitting next to me. Yeah,
yeah, sitting next to you. Are you afraid of that? Was that like a conscious decision, and did you wonder like this could really affect us in maybe a negative way in our relationship? Did you ever think about that, or did you just say like, hey, she wants to do it, it's fun, let's go?
I think it was that she wants to do it. Let's fun. Let's go. And I don't think it'll matter so much in our relationship because 99% of the relationships on here with other streamers, it's just like work kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is she gonna come to your
Okay. Enough
family's
questions. All right.
Is
So,
she gonna come to your family's Thanksgiving
last,
and how? Okay, she's
she
coming.
is. Yes.
So if
Yes.
I asked her and your
Yes.
son, would they tell me that your personality on your streams is very similar to real life, or would they say it's a little bit of a shtick?
A little bit of a stick.
What's your best memory from your childhood?
Playing sports with friends.
What's your worst memory ever from your childhood?
Uh, uh,
We're almost there, guys.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we're done in like 5 minutes. Good guy.
We are.
Uh, okay. This will be the last battle. Good guy. We'll do some one-on-ones.
No,
Uh,
I'll decide
okay.
when the last battle is. We're almost to the hot round. We're not. We're gonna see this
You,
interview out. Thank you.
we said we were
So
doing a
what's the
half
worst?
hour.
What's the worst? What's the
Are you,
worst memory?
all right. The worst memory? Probably in childhood where I had a ripple effect with my friends, and some of them they weren't my friends anymore. It was very hard when I went to school. Like a group of friends broke up, and
How
like
long did it last where you felt alone like that before you could
it lasted until I got out of high school.
really?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
for the
that's
most part. For the most part,
that
there
is,
was
and I never would have expected that from you, ever. I
well,
thought you
it
would be
happened.
like the popular athletic guy and
No,
like
I'm
you're
saying that the group of friends, eh,
yeah.
say there was 40 friends, 20 of them went away, 20 of them stayed, and I never became those 20 friends. I just lost them all. It was this big, an altercation at like maybe 14 years old, and it went all the way to the end of high school for 4 years.
I'm sorry you
Eh,
went through that.
Oh, thanks. After high school, some of them I became friends with again because you go to college
Really?
and then, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But it's interesting, like that stuff sticks to us. We don't forget
yeah,
that stuff.
sure.
We are here, everyone. We are at the bonus round. We're almost there. These are going to be sped. They're not going to be deep questions. They're going to be spicy questions. Now, I do
Okay,
have
go
one
ahead.
thing to say, you guys. I have quick questions to ask Pickle, and I'm
Go
proud
ahead.
of them. If I don't ask him something specific, you have to throw Pickle a speed demon in order for me to ask something very specific from the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to stick to my questions. Um, okay,
Thank you,
so
Anthony.
Pickle, do you agree that if you choose to answer any of these questions, that you will be truthful? If you do not want to answer one of the hot button questions, simply say you do not want to answer it instead of lying. You agree?
That's the way I live my life.
Are you the oldest person on this app?
No,
Who's older than you?
I streamed with Jeff SA this morning. He said he's 70 something.
Really?
A good guy's older than me. Yeah, he's in his 70s.
True or false? You use other people's misfortunes to profit and get views. Have you ever had an asthma attack or a cardiac emergency while on the court playing pickleball?
No,
You battle with a lot of people in their 20s. Your most commonly streamed with people are young, good looking women. True or false? You enjoy this because you can flirt with them while maintaining authority and control in the conversation.
somewhat true.
Have you messaged women from Favorited outside of the app in a flirty or suggestive manner?
Very, very, very few.
What was their age range?
Anywhere from 25 to 50.
Do you think that your beer boxes are appropriate and do you feel good about them after the fact?
Absolutely yes. And yes.
There's a lot of comments that you not too long ago encouraged an underage woman under the age of 21, not under age of 18. Please know that she was just not of drinking age. You encouraged her to take a shot in order to get her views up. True or false?
False.
What's your biggest regret in life and what are you most proud of? If you could just tell us, learning from you at the end of this interview,
I
in
had
life, not unfavorited.
the regret in life. I had the opportunity to go in business with a
This
friend
will be our last one, you guys.
who
Just one
was
more and we're
who
done.
was an actual billionaire, and I didn't like the terms, and I told him no, and that is a big mistake in life. I'm sorry, good guy.
The
Okay,
terms of
last
what?
battle, guys. I didn't like the terms of uh, what he wanted to do in a business, and I told him no, and I really should have not held because he was very, very generous to me, and he would have
Yeah.
been generous in the business, and he was putting up all the money. I didn't put up anything, and I told him no.
Interesting. So did you sort of like see the contract and say like this isn't fair for me when you should have maybe thought that one day it will be and I have to okay. I've done the
Yes,
same thing by the way, but that's
yeah, yeah,
interesting.
and it was going to be like he was going to put in like 40 to 50 million dollars, and I was putting
Wow.
in zero, and yeah,
That's a big one. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
What's your goal in social media? This is my last question on
Got
favorited. When you think like what do I want from this a few years from now or maybe you don't think that far ahead, what do you want to gain out of the experience here?
it. I want to gain wisdom.
You want to so does that mean that during your TMZ interviews, you're also curious in a psychological manner where you feel like you're understanding people in a different way?
Yes,
Okay. Because I remember when you first asked me to battle, I thanked you immensely because you were famous on this app and I was like week one. And you said, listen, I'll give everyone one chance. And if the conversation's interesting, I'll ask you again. If not, I probably won't.
pretty much true.
So your only motive is to gain wisdom.
I didn't say only
Interesting.
modem. You just said what was a main modem.
Yeah. Because you do love
Motive.
attention.
Sure.
Thank you so much, you guys. I feel like I asked him all the questions. I went to every corner of the internet. People loved pickle, that maybe had some negative experiences with pickle. I did all my research and I tried to do right by him, by favorited, by myself, and by you guys. So I really want to thank you. This was fascinating to me. A lot of these questions I was curious about, but I just there's so much going on in our battles that I couldn't
Oh,
ask you. So I thank you so much for being on and please come back when it
okay.
makes sense. And I hope you have a great rest of your night.